Okay, so I had to pop in because I'm editing right now, and I wanted to say, please forgive. I didn't know how bad it was gonna be before I started editing, but please forgive the sunlight. Like, there is no way that I can actually color grade this where some parts won't be super dark or some parts won't be super light. So please just forgive the lighting the whole time because I sit in front of my windows here when I record and I try to use natural light, and it was raining when I recorded this, so it just kept going up and down, which it might not even have anything to do with the lighting so much as like my camera when I would move it would like adjust the color. So please forgive that. Greetings and welcome to Kinky's Data Breach. I am the professional alien, and today we are talking about this new job that I recently started. It's a long story, so we're gonna jump right into it. But before we get started, I want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for checking my channel out. I'm still not really sure what exactly my channel is about, but I appreciate all y'all that come and watch to see what I'm talking about each time. And yeah, let's get right into it. Give me a like if you do end up liking the story time video, and hit the subscribe button. Please hit me with a share too. That helps me out a lot. I'm trying to hit 1K. And yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so I recently started a new retail job, and for legal purposes, everybody that I name in this is going to not be their actual names, clearly. Yeah. So long story short, I have a friend who hit me up and they were like, "Hey, I've got these temp agencies. They give you different work, for for some pretty good pay. They're usually like 1 or 2 days. I'm gonna start sending you some of these agencies jobs that they're searching for." So she just so happens to send me one that is for a retail job locally to me that they're in need of people to help do inventory. So they needed people for like 2 days, but by the time I got signed up for this agency and through their website and got my interview done, they one of the days was complete. The lady hits me and she's like, "Oh hey, I have this job opening for tomorrow. It's such and such an hour. It's like 6 hours long, or it was a good bit of time, and you get paid blah blah blah. And do you want to do it?" So I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." So I go in the next day, and immediately, like when I pull into the parking lot, I parked next to, like, I park in the back of the parking lot, but I parked like there's maybe 2 or 3 spaces between me and a white like Maserati. So in my eyes, like, this Maserati must belong to somebody that works at the store already, like maybe the manager or something like that. Like, cause like, why would somebody be doing a temp job? How the hell do you have this Maserati? But also, like, hell, how the hell don't you have this Maserati? Like, I don't know. I guess it just threw me off to see this like car here. So there's a guy in the car, and I glance over and I see him, but like other than that, like, we're just in the parking lot. I grab my coffee, I get ready to go in. So me and the guy in the car, we kind of end up walking in like next to each other or whatever. And there it's me and him and like one other person. We're like the first ones there, so we introduce ourselves, and he goes by Caleb. So I'm like, "Oh, my name is, you know blah blah." He's like, "Oh, I'm Caleb," and that's kind of like that in that moment. Well, we get assigned what we're supposed to do. We get handed these little guns for inventory. We get told our area, and off we go. Like, we literally are counting, so it's not really. They just have a lot of stuff. I go through like half my shift, and I'm counting or whatever, and I finish like my first little area, so I get moved to another area, which is like a DVD rack. And so I'm on one side of the DVD rack, and I'm doing my scanning and going through and blah blah blah, and trying to keep the count of them on the table, setting ones to the side that don't have a count or that it won't get like scanned. And Caleb gets moved on the other side of the DVD rack. Now, up until this point, he had been in a different room, and it had been me and two other people in this room that I'm in. Yeah, he comes and he's on the other side of the DVD rack, and he sparks up like little conversation with me. Just, "Oh, they've got a lot of these DVDs, and hey, what are you doing with these ones and that ones?" Like, nothing like really worth. remembering, but also just like because it was just small talk. There's like a couple jokes cracked between him and another guy in the room and this and that. Like we have lunch, we finish, you know, what we're all doing, and it's time for everybody basically to get ready to go home. And like we're done like 2 hours earlier than predicted. So we're just told we could go home. So I was like one of the first people to walk out of the door, I think, if I wasn't the first person to leave. And later that day, I get a text message. And y'all, I'm just going to read these texts because it was really weird. So I get a text and it says, "Hi, Caleb, who you worked with today, reached out and mentioned you guys were discussing exchanging numbers but didn't get a chance. I wanted to check if that was okay with you before sharing your info with him. So please let me know if that's okay. Thanks." Now, y'all, I'm just gonna point blank say I never agreed to exchange numbers with this man, right? But I do dog grooming, and again, we had small talk, so you know there was a mention of, "Oh yeah, I groom dogs. Oh cool, I have a dog." Blah blah blah. So I'm like, "Oh well, maybe he wants to know about my dog grooming stuff, or maybe the man's just a weirdo." Which again, completely either option is viable in this situation. But let's continue. So I tell her like, "Yeah, you know, you can go ahead." I was like, "Sure, that's fine. I don't remember honestly, but that's cool with me. Also, feel forward to hearing about future opportunities. Thank you." So she's like, "How will do, of course." Now, you would think like, "Oh, I honestly didn't expect this person to text me." Okay, I'll just be honest. So I get a text and it's like, "Hey, this is Caleb." And I'm like, "Oh, what's up? You know, how are you or whatever?" And he's like, "Nothing. I meant to give you my number before you left. What's up with you?" So I'm like, "I'm at Walmart. I'm about to get myself like a Philly cheesesteak because we have this really good Philly cheesesteak at the Walmart out here, y'all. I love it. It's so good. I haven't had one in a couple weeks and now I'm thinking about it, so I might get one. Um, I was like, then gonna go back because I left my coffee cup. How about you? So he's like, "Left that cup, huh?" Yes, that's exactly what I just said. I'm cooler for the most part. Wanna hang out? And then when I didn't respond after like 10 minutes, he's like, "Up to you." So I'm like, "My bad. I'm running through Walmart and got a little bit lost at what I was doing. I can't hang out today. Got a bunch of mess to do, so we can hang out or something another day." So he says, "Cool. I was digging your vibe. I want to learn more of you. You not that busy. I'm just trying to add to your relaxation." So all off the bat, I'm like, "Okay, well now it's time to dead the conversation. We have nothing further to talk about." So I said, "My bad." Or no, I said, "I'm not even gonna waste your time, homie. LOL. I want to make friends, but anything else is off the table." You would think that this would be the end, but oh boy, do I have a shocker for you. The response that I get from this man is, "I can be that. I feel you really deserve a friend like me. I can be a vacation not too far from home." Boy. So I just didn't respond. Like I just didn't respond because I'm just like, okay, I already expressed that I'm not interested. I don't feel like I owe you anything further from there, and for you to continue to try to pursue anything further from there, just no, you know. So we go, you know, that's that. I'm thinking that's the end of the situation. Now, fast forward, y'all. I actually applied for a part-time job at this like temp job that I went to, and I liked the job, and that's why I applied for a part-time job. So, yay, I got it. Just so y'all know. So that's why y'all seeing me more, seeing me less here on the tube for you because I'm sorry, I'm finger gunning so much. I don't know what that's about. But that's why y'all have been seeing less of me because I'm a little bit overwhelmed, for lack of a better word. I've got a few different things going on in my personal life. But so, anyway, let's continue. Fast forward, I'm working this job. We have another day, like a week ago, where we needed temp people, right? And so, like, we had like two different people that showed up, and it was for like small amounts of inventory, so it didn't require a lot of people. And I'm talking to one of the girls, and I'm gonna call her Sasha. And Sasha says to me, like, "Oh yeah, like I was supposed to be here for the last temp agency thing, but I went into labor, like I was getting induced that day, so I sent my like son, my child's father." And so I'm like, okay, cool. And she's like, you might have met him. And she says, his name is Caleb. And then she pulls her phone out and she shows me a picture of Caleb. And I'm just like, oh, yeah, I remember him. Like, yeah, I met him. So now I'm like pissed because this guy was trying to talk to me the same day he met me, which just so happened to be the same day that this woman was in labor with his child. Like, that, I don't feel like if y'all are with someone or something like that, that you really owe them anything. However, you're working a job on a because of her, and she's in labor. Like, it's just have some respect for other people, like some common decency. I don't know. Either way, it pissed me off. And when she told me that, I was like sitting there. So now I'm like pacing around work, and I'm kind of stressed out because I feel like if this was me, I would want someone to tell me. But also, I know that sometimes that doesn't end well. And I'm not trying to create bad blood between me and this girl, especially not while I'm on the clock. Um, but I feel like she has a right to know, like, just for me as a respect to another person. So after, like, I'm not even gonna lie, y'all, it took me like an hour to work up the damn nerve. And finally, I just go ahead and I'm like, hey, I don't want you to be upset with me or anything, but I want to show you something. And I just hand her, because I don't delete text messages, y'all. And this is one of the reasons why, because I don't ever want to be incriminated. And so I will always keep like some backup something somewhere of a conversation we've had, especially if the conversation was sour or foul. Like, I'm gonna keep it because I have to be able to defend myself in situations. So I just handed my phone to her and I let her see the text messages. Y'all, this turned out to be like a really, like, the situation for me wasn't bad. Nothing bad happened. Like, she addressed him, at the same time, and he texted me about it, even like, oh, and the guy's a little bit of a weirdo. The guy was a little bit of a weirdo anyway, and when she addressed him, he had no remorse. He didn't feel bad. He didn't care. Like, and it turned into me finding out that, like, Sasha had actually even been physically abused by Caleb, with him basically placing her in the blame of, like, her having cheated on him as the justification for the abuse. And it was just like one of those situations where, in this, like, at the time, Sasha was in a better place. She was not around Caleb. He couldn't harm her at the time, because he wasn't in the state. But it was messed up because it was like, okay, by telling you this, I probably possibly exposed you to a, like, more dangerous situation. Because, and then, like, even kind of myself, because I work at this place. He knows where I work. Um and you're now telling me this man's, like, kind of off his rocker. But yeah, it was a really wild situation to be a part of, especially like finding out the more of the backstory from it and things like that. Oh, and the Maserati, the biggest part, the Maserati, it was her car, y'all. That's what made me so, not the most upset, but that's what made me pretty upset about it. The Maserati was the girlfriend's or the baby mom's car. So imagine, like, this man trying to, you're the reason he's working this job. He's driving your car. You're giving birth to his child, and he's trying to cheat on you while accusing you of cheating on him. Wild and crazy stuff. You only hear about it right here on this channel. Yeah, okay, now I have a question. How do you feel about, like, this situation as far as, like, how I reacted? Because I had consulted with a few different people that I had already told about the first, like, the day that I met Caleb, and told them about when I met Sasha and what I had found out. And I got varying opinions on what I should do. Again, based on how Sasha could react, the different ways she could react, the fact that I was at work, how Caleb could react to finding out that I told Sasha. And I just want to know, what would you have done in this situation? Like, would you have said something? Would you not have said something? Would you maybe have waited until the end of your shift and, like, said something? Like, I guess I could have exchanged numbers with her and just told her. But it feels better, at least in that situation for me, that I could tell her face to face, because then it felt a little less shady to me. I don't know. Than just like being in her face all day at work and then texting her some weird, like, oh yeah, here's these screenshots at like afterwards. I don't know. But how would you have reacted? How would you have handled the situation? With that being said, if you want to hear more, oh, I have way more crazy work stories. So if you want to hear more, please, 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 again, hit the subscribe button, check me out, leave a comment down below if you made it to the end of this video, and with your comment reaction to what I already asked, do me a favor and give me a camera emoji, I guess, because I was talking about DVDs. I don't know. And that being said, Alien out.